Hey, love, you're here with Melanie on the Shy Love Radio Show on Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. I hope all is well with you. Before we begin today's segment, we are going to take 3 deep breaths. Deep breathing is a good exercise for mental health and well being. But today, we're going to add another step to it. I want you to pick one issue that is bothering you, that is bringing you stress, that is adding to your depression. I want you to visualize it. I want you to see the word, however your own brain works. Just one. And you're going to inhale and gather all the circumstances around that issue. Inhale it. Hold it for 3 seconds so we can all come together. And then exhale. Blow that shit out. And shout out to Felice Tamara Jackson. That's one of her phrases. Blow that shit out. And then after you blow that first issue out, I want you to go to your next issue. And I want you to do the same thing. And I want you to inhale and gather all the contents of that issue. And blow that shit out. Same thing for the third one, okay? Now, we're going to do it together. So we're all individuals and everybody has their own set of whatever going on. So pick your first one. Pick your first one. You see it? Inhale deeply. Hold. Blow it out. Release it from yourself. Let's go to the next set of circumstances, next issue. Visualize it in your mind, see it. See it, see them, see him, see her. See it. Inhale deeply and gather those circumstances surrounding the situation together. Blow that shit out. Let's do it one more time. Visualize it. Inhale, hold, and blow. Sometimes you just have to get the energy off so that you can clear your channels, be in the present, and be in alignment for receiving the best outcome of whatever situation is going on. Okay? Hugs to everyone. Now, okay, listen. So we here in Chicago, it's a bounty on 12. You hear me, so? They calling, and I don't know if the order is for straight headshots, body shots, or what, but 36 gangs here in Chicago have decided to unite against the police in Chicago. First of all, I just want to give you a Shy Love salute just for the unity. Chirac, it's been an issue, love, and to hear that you all are coming together and then in the name of justice and not like over little dumb bullshit, I am so proud. I am so proud. Now, ideally, Shy Love Radio, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium would prefer an amicable relationship between the police and the residents. Ideally, if this was a utopia, realistically, that's not what it is. Realistically, our voices have fallen on deaf ears. Realistically, some will sit up and give you the platform to speak, but nothing is being done about it, or not much. You can hear me repeat throughout my shows that 2020, the mantra for 2020 is enough is enough. The energy has changed. Enough is enough. And looting, protesting, people are just setting courthouses on fire, bombing police stations. They started to attack police officers. People are not in the mood to just bow down anymore. People are not in the mood to be pacified with little crumbs of bread. People are tired of laughing and shit ain't funny. People are ready. The people are ready to do something. They're ready to move. And no, it's not strategically organized, and all of the resources are not readily available, and everybody is not in a mental state ready for war. Because see, it's not just being ready for war. You also have to be prepared for living after the war. Unless you just gonna sacrifice your life and, go out in the blaze. There's a mental preparation for all of that. But nevertheless, based on the wherewithal that the people currently have, the people are moving within that. And see, we've seen situations where people have humbled themselves in front of the enemy and said, I love you, and said, I forgive you, and have seen the enemy get attacked and stepped in on behalf of the enemy, and still they turned around and slayed the people, right? So when you have stuff like that where people trying to play nice and let you know that they're not trying to go there with you, and you still using your authority to traumatize the public, at some point, just logically, you should be expecting a rise out of the people, right? So here we go. Now, this is a story that's in the news. How we'll know the validity of it is, I guess, by staying tuned. But so far, this is what we see. This is what's going on. The FBI have this system where it's called Potential Activity Alert. And ABC Channel 7 obtained a copy of the alert where it is notifying officials of Chicago that there's a bounty on their head. Now, this alert right here, because we're going back and forth through the defunding the police, and keeping the police. This situation right here has given an alderman in the 44th First Ward the platform to speak against defunding the police. He said that an anti-police movement in the city of Chicago and across the nation will create a brazen criminal element. Well, nobody is saying to defund the police and just let everybody run reckless. Now, there will have to be other organizations to step up to intercede on behalf of the people in situations where there's crime and everything going on and people are getting hurt. Nobody is saying let these little Iraqis run wild. We're saying stop the injustice, stop targeting people of color, stop targeting people of certain socioeconomic statuses. You should not have to ask to be treated fairly. You should not have to ask to be treated respectfully. So it's not a thing of where, like, I don't even understand. Okay, if you're going to argue against defunding the police, at least acknowledge what has been going on and why the people feel the way that they feel. Now, you have people who are saying, okay, I understand why this is happening, but okay, I disagree with defunding the police. But within this organization, we need to have reforms. We need to have other organizations come in to work with the police who are equipped with working with people with mental illnesses, equipped with peace circles and knowing how to de-escalate situations. Nobody is saying just, let it run amok. But the way that the assembly line has been running, somebody need to push the button. The officers can be open to healing from whatever traumas that they have endured and reconditioning themselves so that we can start to gain some trust between the people in the community, or go. Because if somebody does not start to actually look at all sides and see how we can come together with all of this so it can be some type of peace and contentment, it's going to be more bloodshed. We are in Chicago. Chicago carries a certain spirit. And if you're not going, what makes you think that the other man is? That has always been ridiculous to me. If you will take a stand and fight for yours, what makes you think that this next man won't? So now it's an establishment of control, enforcing somebody, oppressing, putting somebody in an oppressive state. How is that good for the people? How is that good for the relationship where the police need the participation of the people to help to keep the crime down? There has been 2,815 people shot here in Chicago, and 520 of them have been murdered within 8 months. So yes, it's a lot going on. But so much could change if only we are more considerate about how we treat each other. If we as individuals are more aware of ourselves and the potential impact that our actions are going to leave on others, It's simple, but yet again, it's so hard. Why? Because a lot of people get some type of form level of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, especially here in Chicago. And PTSD changes the function of the brain. So that's why it's not so easy for people to just snap and get it together. And then look at the examples that the authority figures are setting. You move by force. You move by extreme force. You move by dropping the body. So ultimately, if you want to learn how to fight, you're going to start paying attention and mimicking the best fighter, right? So now we're in a situation where CPD has a little bounty on y'all head. I don't want to just see a whole bunch of blue bleeding in the street. I don't want to see a whole bunch of Chiracians bleeding in the street. I don't want to see a whole bunch of innocent people who are against it but not actively taking the role, but somehow caught a bullet and now they bleeding in the street. Have we not heard enough of the mothers cry yet? So they got this little alert, and this is the order. You got factions within gangs, including the Latin Kings and the Vice Lords, among 34 others. They have been actively searching for and filming police officers in performance of their official duties. The purpose is to catch on film an officer drawing his or her weapon on any subject and the subsequent shoot on sight. That's the order. In order to garner national media attention. So, okay, that sounds horrible, but this is the part that I do like about it. They didn't just say, kill 12, anything in blue, lay it down. That's not the order. The order is not anything in blue, lay it down. The order is to observe and film, observe and record. They taking steps. I like it. I like that somebody sat down and thought about this. I like it. They're going to observe and record. And in the event that the police officer is abusing their power and us on a civilian, then an eye for an eye. What she talking about? Back in the day, that's how a lot of these gangs were in their neighborhoods. GD, growth and development. You know what I'm talking about? The Black Panthers. They were protecting their community. They were feeding their community. They were educating their community. Why? Because the people who were put in the position to do so chose not to, chose to abuse their power. I think this is beautiful. Do I hope some people wake up and take this serious Not to the point to where you want to lay your third leg on the table to prove which one is the heaviest, but to avoid this from happening. Because if you don't know nothing else, you know that these boys ain't playing. The only advantage CPD has is the lack of aim that these little Chiracians have. Now, hopefully, while somebody was putting this together, they realized the lack of aim, and then had people, you know what I'm saying, create their own little gun ranges and start to do a little practice, little target practice. You know, in a situation like this, you ain't got this police. You got one move. Do we have to alert somebody else's family, whether it is a police officer or a resident, that somebody not coming home? Do we have to take it there? This is not an ego thing to where, oh, if we fold, they're going to think they can run us. You work for the people, first of all. And it's not about folding and punking out. It's about doing what's right. You say you want to decrease the murder rate, don't add to it. How about that? I am very proud of you, little Chiracians. I am very proud of you. If you're going to fight, if you're going to pull up, let it be for a reason that's going to go down in history, that's going to help to change the world. You hear me? I love y'all, Lucille. I just don't like the way you move. But this right here, that's a good look. And how much more wonderful would it be if we as Chicago, police and residents, could have that same protectiveness over each other? Could give love and respect to one another. To live by the golden rule of treating others as you would want to be treated. There's so many big heads and small brains. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Who the fuck do you think you are, thinking that you could continue doing something to somebody and ain't nobody gonna do nothing back to you? That's not how that goes. You could follow the pattern of history and see the correction in my words. That is not how that goes. Do you understand? And just because you're already on that path of spiraling down, don't mean you got to go all the way to the bottom. You don't always have to hit rock bottom in order to see, in order to start to make changes. Y'all could set this operation up a whole nother way. But it's not like Chicago can just set its, totally set its own rules and not have to check in with anybody, because it's levels to this. And somebody from the top dropped the ball. A lot of times you look at stuff after the fact and you see where you missed something, misjudged something, didn't move on it quick enough, didn't get away from it quick enough. Something, you see something. You see something else that could have been done. And we have more than enough history to where we can see where, some things went horribly wrong as a people. I don't care what color you are. One thing that we all have in common is here in Chicago is that we're all Chicagoans. That's for certain. One thing that we have in common that's in this little fleshy vessel is the humanity of it. That's something we have in common. You don't like to be mistreated and your enemies don't either. That's something we have in common. Can we start with that? You know what's kind of ironic? That if this is so, then, over the years, there have been stories where, of like a band coming in at like the wee hours through the alley, wee hours of the night, like an all black band or something, basically dropping off weapons in these poverty-stricken neighborhoods, a lot of the urban neighborhoods, right? So isn't it ironic that you kind of gave the Chiracians weaponry to eventually use against you? Wowzers. Sound like you whooping your own ass. That's what it sounds like. You dropped off weapons so that they can kill each other and kill themselves and gonna turn around and kill you with it. That shit poetry. Y'all wanna start to put the egos down some so we can get this together or what? People got families out here who are trying to build up and create for the city and don't want to be dodging bullets. Don't want to be seeing all this doggone bloodshed. You see, unfortunately, there's a lot of stiff-necked people going around here. And a lot of people learn the hard way. What is it about you? Explore that within yourself. What is it about myself that makes me learn the hard way? Once you start to find out the answer or answers to that question, you can make some real changes. You will realize how much you have whooped your own ass. So we got the alert saying that it's a bounty on 12. CPD, they do not back down from taking their stance. If I was a cop, I wouldn't either. But if I was a cop, I wouldn't be on this bullshit. I'll be helping the people. Nevertheless, CPD takes all threats against officer safety seriously. They want you to know that. That was their CPD takes all threats against officer safety seriously. And we will take all necessary measures to safeguard our officers. So let's break it down. They basically saying what up. They basically just gave y'all the okay. They basically just said say less. They basically just said on site. That any means necessary. Any means necessary. They don't give a fuck if your mama with you, your child with you, the same way Chirac get down. Any means necessary. How much blood we finna see? You shit ridiculous. I'm bored. I am bored. It is a lot of action involved, but it's like the story is on replay. It has its twists and turns and climax, but it's the same story. Y'all not tired of this? I am bored. My heart does not. I don't want to see y'all selves get hurt. But I also am aware that you have some people out here, their mentality, they're not going to stop unless you lay them down. I'm aware of that. So you have to deal with people on their level. But goodness gracious. So this alderman is not just, saying that he is against the defunding of the police. He's brainstorming upon, solutions, possible solutions, and that's a good thing. Sometimes you just gotta just brainstorm, let it all come out. And we see what sticks and see what we can put together and make with that. So some people just complain and they have no idea for a possible solution or even a step for improvement. But his self, he explained what Chicago could do to stop violence. Now listen, the first step is definitely take President Trump's help. So, okay, you Trump type, come 41st. He said, if you don't want the feds on the street, have them work the warrant, infiltrate the gangs, implement RICO charges, and go after the drugs. Okay. All right, that's decent. He said, hit them where it hurts, the money. That's a good idea too, because even Kanye West said he had to act like he had his little man together to keep his money right. So, some people would take a beating, but as long as they still get their money, they're good. So that is a good idea to start hitting pockets, start hitting personal pockets, start hitting the organization's pockets. Did you amen this activity you did? Okay, when you come with. That's a good idea. He said the second thing is that we need a state's attorney here that is actually going to press criminal charges. Our state's attorney right now celebrates the catch and release process. It's killing us over here. Wowzers. Wowzers. How you know she celebrates the catch and release process? Did you ever see her make a toast to it? Did you ever see her engaged in some type of dance, a little twerk when somebody got released? How you know? Did you ever ask her why she moves like she moves? Did you ever try to get an understanding? See, we have organizations like the Policy Circle who are strong advocates for starting a conversation, having a conversation. But it's hard to engage in an amicable, respectful conversation when you just minding your business and scrolling and doing a little reading, and you see that somebody then said that you know, they gotta be talking about you because you're the only state's attorney. How you celebrate the catch and release process and how your actions is killing us. That makes it hard for a person to uh, come into a meeting to have a conversation about issues without being defensive because you shot first. Instead of saying that you lack understanding, you know, with her process, with her dealings with these offenders, you know, could she elaborate? Could she tell you, you know, where she stands on this and why she stands on this so that you could get some type of better understanding? You attack. You two coming together and having an actual conversation where you're not making the other feel attacked, you never know how the both of you could actually rub off on each other and then create some type of balance within your views. Or get to the, you know, be at the point where you just agree to disagree. Talking about the streets is wilding out. So are the officials. What you talking about? Your intelligence is high, but your emotional intelligence is low. There needs to be a balance. America is a melting pot. It needs to be great for everyone. And Donny Boy, I take issue with a lot of things that Donny Boy, his behaviors, you know, his behaviors, his disregard for people. We'll go into some stuff deeper with him later, but you know, these are real lives that you all are affecting. You need to keep that in mind. These are real lives that you're affecting with these policies. Then you're taking more time to argue with each other instead of staying to the doggone goal, staying with the goal and accomplishing it to make sure that the people are good because that's why you went into office in the first place, right? But all we constantly see is all this bickering back and forth. But then you want to come down on the head of the citizens for doing the same thing? Well, if you don't check yourself, check yourself. How can a house stand if it's divided? And understand this as well. Your position is alderman. And yeah, you got to check in with some stuff, you know, check in with the mayor. A lot of y'all be overstepping y'all boundaries and out of y'all lane. Motherfucker, if you wanted to be the mayor, you should have ran for mayor. Okay? The rudeness. And then what are you doing, even if you are a Trump supporter, on behalf of Chicago, because that's where you chose to live and run here? What are you doing to try to improve things? Because whether you are a Democrat, a Republican, Green, Independent, birthday party, we all want the violence to stop. We all want a significant decrease. We all want to be treated like we matter. Can we begin on the terms that we can agree on? And then maybe once you start to walk within that, the other stuff that you disagree on, by that time, both of y'all then alter your perceptions some to where you're able to work it out on behalf of the people, right? Because that's why y'all got into this, right? Or was it for the benefits and the kickbacks and the other mess that we hear be going on? The power. How are you using your power? I know with CPD, they do these little mental evaluations. I'm gonna tell you this. Somebody that is showing signs, somebody who has had a past of being bullied a lot, just oppressed to the point where they had no fight back or nobody to fight back for them, period. And it's like they carrying some type of chip on their shoulder to where they got something to prove to the world. You don't need that position, baby. You need to heal. You hear me? Heal your little self and then come on back. You don't put on that shit with a point to prove that you the man around this bitch. Got your face plastered on all these doggone billboards like some social media whores. And the people sitting up here struggling like they are. Y'all fucking over each other and then telling the people, well, why can't you all get it together? Why are you fucking over each other? But you all proclaim that we need leaders and you are our leaders. So what the fuck is you talking about? Let's take a deep breath. Let's visualize this issue. Let's gather the contents and blow it out. Everybody gets frustrated. This is a we situation. If we start to make different choices, if we, as individuals, look at that man or woman in the mirror and start there. Understand why you are you. And that'll help you understand why they are they and why we are we. I love Chicago. Not the east side, not the south side, not the north side, not the west side, Chicago. This is home. Everything ain't been perfect. Home has hurt me as well, but this is home. Even when I have traveled, I wanted to come back home. I just wanted home to be better. I don't have to know you to love you. I don't have to know you to respect you. I don't have to check your pockets or see what you look like on paper to show you a certain type of honor. Just the fact that I'm here and you here, that in itself should be enough. that I don't want you to hurt me, so don't hurt me. I don't want to hurt you, so don't hurt me. You're never the only one that's going through something. You know, we all have our ideals and beliefs, and you have to keep in mind the United States is a melting pot. The United States was purposely put together like this where people from everywhere could come together, have certain civil liberties, rights, protection. That was the point of America, the freedom. It was supposed to be a freedom with it. And I know you can point to other countries and say, well, those women, you know, over in this country couldn't even sit on her own radio show and talk to us like you're talking to us. And that is true. But it's levels to all type of oppression. Just because it's not as bad as that doesn't mean that it's still not bad. And how can you tell whether something is having the effect and results that you would like? By the fruits of it? Look at the fruits of it. Crime doesn't have to be big business. Since we talked about Trump, you got the towers here. It's like on one hand, he seemed like somebody that, you know, you party with, because, you know, it's like, you know, he crazy, you know. He's crazy, he's entertaining. But it's like, you applying this to real life and affecting people's lives with it. And that's the issue. You advocating grabbing, you know, women by the vagina. So don't have me arrested if we finally meet each other and as I open my arms to hug you, I grab you by the ball. I'm just speaking your language. It wouldn't be wrong all of a sudden, would it? And if it would be wrong, perhaps you need to change your perception and be more aware of the way that you are influencing others because of the position that you are in. Now, all ourselves are family by the spirit of the land. And that doggy, unfortunately, you know, they say family be the first one to fuck you. We got some work to do. We have some work to do, people. We have some work to do. But we can do it. We can do it. There's so much hurt, so much confusion, so much judgment, so much low vibrational energy that people are dwelling in and holding on to. You know, I'm not saying that every single situation can be rectified and we can all be magical unicorns living happily ever after. because something inner peace will result in this person no longer being around in your energy like that. And that's understandable because we all have choices. But there are a lot of issues that like don't have to sync with the ship. A lot of situations that don't have to sync with the ship. Just like we get to this point, that the things that have been going on, this hasn't been an overnight thing. This is centuries of build up. And it's going to take some time. But goodness gracious, if the goal is to see less bloodshed and violence in Chicago, if that on all the sides, that's everybody's goal, and everybody just want to get money or whatever other goals you have with it. But if there is an overall agreement for less violence and bloodshed in Chicago, can we at the very least start to react to situations in a non-violent way, or at least in a way that is not causing death? Can we do that? Now, in the event of attacking somebody that's not in alignment with their ideas, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to come home. Whether you're in blue or in the Chiracian wear, everybody's trying to come home. So, on that note, we are going to leave you with this segment of the day. May you ponder on it. May you discover more within yourself and elevate higher. And know that we don't have to know you personally to love you here at the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, putting people on iHeartRadio and Spotify Premium. Hug.